All right, good evening. How are you?
I'm doing good, Miss Julian. Thank you for joining me.
No worries. So this lesson that you did was on phonics.
Yeah.
How do you think your lesson went?
Well, I think it went well. Not exceptionally well. I think it was ordinary. It was a revision because we're getting ready for our testing that's coming up. And so it was a revision lesson. I think the objective was met, so I think it went well.
I
Uh,
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I agree as well. It did go very well with the lesson. I enjoyed watching your video, and there was some pieces that I liked and I wanted to bring back, not only to like your kindergarten team, but like other teachers as well. Um, like I said before, it takes a special kind of person to teach kindergarten, and I feel like you got it. But me myself, I would never. But it was just the way that you were so patient with them. And yes, it's later on in the school year, and people would say, of course, you're a patient person. But again, yes, it's the end of the school year, it's towards the end, and some kids are rowdy and they're getting ready for summer vacation, but you're still patient. I loved how you start off the lesson, well, every lesson that you've been doing. You keep reminding them about the big test that's coming up for first grade, that they have to pass that test in order for them to go to first grade. So when that test does come, they're not caught off guard. Like they already been planning for that. They've been talking about it. And
Yes.
now that it's here, it's like, oh, I already knew that I was having a test, so I'm ready for it. Um, you did the phonics lesson, and I loved how like the main part about this is that because the lesson went really, really well, and I loved how it's okay for your students to make mistakes because you walk them through it, and again, with you being patient. Um, uh, uh, because they were doing the syllables with the claps. You were asking Luke how many syllables is in the word, and he kept saying four, 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 four. But the answer wasn't four, it was three. And you was telling him, okay, go back and, clap. So that way, you can obtain the answer. And as he clapped, but he clapped one too many times. But still, you coached them through it, and then even the next student was able to clap as well, and so that they can obtain the answer. I feel like the more that they hear the word, it's easier for them to clap. But I think that because they're trying to say it and clap at the same time, they can't count it at the same time. So they're getting there. We can multitask, but they can't really do it just yet. But still, they were still clapping and still trying to say how many syllables the word has. Um, and I loved how you didn't really pivot, but I guess it was part of your lesson where you asked them about how to break up the word. Tell me about that.
All right. Earlier on, when I did the lesson, um, we talked about we introduced CVC words, and they know their vowels and their consonants. So during that time, they were able to identify the vowel in the middle with consonants at the end. And so I wanted them to remember what we did then, and that I tied that in with syllables when I was doing syllables for them to realize that we just don't only break because we want the vowels, but it must be able to stand alone and make sense. And so I wanted them to be able to connect both together, and I want to see how well they had remembered.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean they got it. They needed just a little bit more practice because you gave maybe like two examples. And of course
Yeah.
it was just for the video sake, but I wish I was there to see you continuing on with it so that way they're able to continue practicing how to break up.
Yes.
That was great how you tied those two together, the syllables and also breaking up the words. I think it was a really good lesson. And then they got the hang of it, and especially with the clapping. What kid doesn't like to clap? And then it's just hearing the word for them so that they know how many times to clap.
Okay, Miss Julian. I did not include um, a, a written evaluation for that lesson because I was just doing like oral revision to see how much they remember what they could tell me. So I did not include like actual like worksheets or put them into group to make the syllables with letter blocks or anything like that because it was a short lesson. So and based on the timetable that phonics would come in just before we go into the main ride. So I did not um, add all the evaluation I did was through observation and how will they respond to the question. So it was more oral.
Okay. I mean, that's fine too. I know how many times I know how much minutes of the day you guys have for phonics, which, should be adjusted. However, a conversation offline. But it was good. It was good. The amount of time that you spent on it. And I know like at each day you're gonna continue, well, you did continue
Yes.
working on the syllables and the breaking the word apart. So that was good. Um, I have nothing bad to say. There was nothing for you to change. I feel like it went well. And again, it's not something new that they were learning. It was just a revision
Right.
to, continue reviewing so that they can get ready for first grade.
Thank you so much, Miss Julian.
I had nothing bad to say. This lesson was really good. I felt like you were more comfortable, especially with the
Yes.
camera being there, but you were more comfortable. And then, I got to see what I see every day, pretty much.
Thank you so much, Miss Julian. All right. Bye-bye.